Hi, everyone. This is the Microcast from LGBT Stories. I've been really excited for this, and I'm so grateful that it's finally here. I think for episode 1, I want to focus on talking about what this is all about and how it's going to flow. So yeah, let's just dive right in. I love creating content. It's a lot of fun. Last year, LGBT Stories went from 1 episode a month to 3 a week. That's huge. That's a lot. And now in 2020, while our main podcast is going to be staying at 3 episodes a week, this Microcast is going to be launching a new episode every single day. It's pretty cool. Now, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit worried about how much effort is going into making all of this content. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried. But I know that my why is larger than my worry. So I say, let's just keep on keeping on. The Microcast is intended to be a commentary podcast. So me, your host, Kevin Gerdes, is going to be taking you through and talking all about all things LGBTQ. I've always had strong opinions, but I never thought that LGBT Stories, the podcast, was the right setting to dive into them. So this Microcast is going to be that place. I really want feedback from y'all. Once these are posted, and they will only be released on Patreon, I really encourage you guys, once they're posted, to comment and join in on the conversation. Tell me what you think about the topics in that day's episode. Let's actually start to build and create community. You guys are supporting this content, so this is a way for you to have something more than just the podcast. I will be posting our Monday episodes every week on social media and our website, so those who haven't had the chance to see what this Microcast is all about can listen and honestly see what they're missing out on. If they want episodes Tuesday through Sunday, they need to join our Patreon community, just like all of you. Each episode will only be between 5 and 10, maybe 12 minutes long. They're all going to be short, bite-sized episodes of just glittery fun. Okay, so let's go on next. I would love it if you guys would let me know what you want to hear from me on this podcast or this Microcast. Do you want me to answer your questions? Do you want my thoughts on anything? Do you want to hear from past guests of LGBT Stories, the podcast? Make sure you comment below and let me know what you want to know about or what you want to hear. I might even use this space, I think, as a place where I can get feedback from you guys about what improvements I can make to the podcast and etc. I have so many ideas of how often, so many things come up for me, but I'm not always sure if they are good for the show. So maybe this is a good way for me to sort of beta test those ideas with you guys. We'll see. Let's chat about this idea of community that you guys hear me talk so much about. Creating this show, everything from the podcast to the Microcast to social media, it's not free for me. I pay money to host the show on the podcast hosting sites, to marketing tools to promote the episode once it's released. It has taken 3 years of creating content for LGBT Stories for me to realize that consuming content for free is simply, in my opinion, not cool. Yes, iTunes and Spotify and the other podcasting platforms are streaming this content to people for free on your end. However, it costs that creator time and money to make it for you, to entertain you. I used to always consume content. Where can I get it for free? I used to go to websites and download movies for free, music for free, and pretty much anything else. Now, today, I just can't get myself to do it. I think it's because I know how hard people are working, how many overnights they're just going night after night after night. Sometimes after a full-time job, people, spend the evening and into the night creating content just to follow their dreams. And I'm sorry, that deserves to be compensated. So that's why I am so grateful to those of you who have donated to LGBT Stories on our website and those of you here on Patreon. Honestly, it seriously shows that you get it. People don't realize sometimes, but while $1 might not seem like a lot, when many people donate $1, that turns into something much more. I guess what I'm trying to say is, thank you for being a part of this community here on Patreon. Thank you for all of your donations. May it be $1 or more. You are all seriously valuable to me. Next topic. I want to chat a bit about the name of the podcast, LGBT Stories. Clearly, the Q is missing. And sometimes I get shit for this. People love to hide behind a computer and talk shit about how I am discriminating against the Q in LGBTQ. So let me explain this. Here I am going on the record. 3 years ago, while the Q in LGBTQ was a known thing, it simply wasn't used often. Don't believe me? Go ahead and do some research and look at blogs from 2016 and 2017, and you'll see. At that time, people weren't saying LGBTQ. They were just saying LGBT. And honestly, I'm not gonna apologize about that. We live in a world that is so unforgiving about things from years or even decades ago. No, I'm not saying that people who identify as queer are not important or not as loved or valuable and special as anyone else, because you are. All I'm saying is that before you condemn someone for something, i.e., saying that they are being discriminatory, why not just ask them why something is the way it is first? You might learn something. Furthermore, let's say I change the name of the show from LGBT Stories to LGBTQ Stories. It's not that I'm 100% against that, but what people often don't think about is the cost of doing something like that. This means I would have to change the show's logos, which means I'd have to hire a new graphic design artist and pay them to create the new logo for the show. I would have to change all the legal paperwork, which means I have to hire an editor to do that. I'd have to spend time on all of this, and time is money. Oh, and don't forget, I produce a ton of episodes for you guys, all by myself, and so much more. Things in life are not always as black and white as they may seem. People have reasons for why and what they do, and when they do things. I hope that me sharing this publicly can help spark something in everyone to be more just with people. Be more forgiving. Ask questions before you bite them. Someone today said I was being discriminatory because I didn't have the Q in the name of the show. Guess what? That really hurt, because I bust my ass for this show. I'm doing my best. Okay, there you have it. Kevin in the Raw. We are off to an interesting start already. See? Told you. This will get personal. That's it for today. Thanks for listening to this microcast of LGBT Stories. See you tomorrow, and don't forget, keep loving one another.